Hey, what's up, fellas? How you doing, man? Antonelli here.
Hey, what's going on, guys? How we doing? Matt Antonelli here with Antonelli Baseball. Today we are checking out a pitching video with John Madden from YouGoProBaseball.com. John and I played with the San Diego Padres organization together. John also played with the New York Mets organization, does a great job with pitchers. Definitely go over and check out his stuff at YouGoProBaseball.com. Okay, before we get into the video today's video is sponsored by Triton. If you guys follow our stuff, you know that we use Triton gear and jerseys. Here's an example right here. Go over to their site, custombaseballjerseys.com. You can check out all the stuff that they do over there. They do a fantastic job. Okay, so in today's video, we're going to see John talking about the best pitches to strike out hitters. Let's check it out.
All right, so the first one is going to be the sinker. Of course, it's my favorite. If you guys have been following the channel, my YouTube channel for any time, you know that the sinker is my favorite pitch by far. And it's because it was the most effective for me. I truly believe it is what got me drafted and took me to the next level in baseball. And it's such an effective pitch that sometimes I thought it was almost like cheating, because when you throw it well, the batters swing and miss hugely. So it's such a great pitch, and it's very safe for the arm. So how do we grip the sinker? What you're gonna do, at least what I did and what was successful for me, is I would grab it on the seams here with my pointer finger right here on this seam and my middle finger right next to it. I have fat fingers, so it kind of looks like I'm on both seams, but I'm actually trying to be on this seam with the pointer finger, and the middle finger is right next to it. My thumb is gonna be in line underneath with the pointer finger, so I've got more on this side of the ball than I do that side of the ball. Now, the most important thing for the sinker when you throw it is gonna be your arm angle and your wrist angle and getting on top of the ball. So if you're a guy who's a little bit higher, you're gonna have to be a little bit lower with your wrist angle. So if your arm angle is higher, your wrist angle has to be lower. If your arm angle is lower, then your wrist angle can be in line with your arm angle. But the most important thing is that when you throw this pitch, you wanna get over it. So when I release, I'm coming over that ball, and that's what's gonna give that movement down and slightly arm side. You want more depth, downward angle, than arm side movement to have a good sinker.
So John had a great sinker. He was a really big sinker slider guy, but his sinker, I can remember this vividly, playing second base and watching him throw from that angle. It's a great perspective to see pitchers throw from. To be able to see the depth on his sinker and see guys go to swinging a ball and then all of a sudden it disappears, that's a really tough thing to deal with as a hitter, when you think you're on something and then boom, the thing just drops below your bat.
The next pitch is going to be a cutter, okay? Now, when I threw a cutter, I was never very good at it, but I could throw a good one on flat ground. I never really took it to the mound. But the way I threw it was a natural cutter, okay? And for a natural cutter, the way I gripped it was across the seams. And I would put my middle finger on this seam right here, and my pointer finger would just be underneath that other seam, okay? Now for this one, I wanted my thumb to be more on the middle finger side, okay? So right here. Now, when I threw this ball, I wasn't trying to force any spin on this. Like, it's not a forced cutter. This is more of a natural cutter. I just wanted to come straight down through, and I'm actually gonna pronate on this pitch. So I'm not gonna throw it like a curveball or anything like that. I'm actually gonna pronate, and I want the last thing touching this ball is the inside part of my middle finger on that lace, and it's gonna give a little bit of extra rotation on that side of the ball, which is gonna make it cut to my glove side. So that's another great pitch for you.
Now, I always thought the cutter was such a hard pitch to hit. It's similar to the sinker, where you think you see it and then all of a sudden, boom, it's gone. It's the same thing with the cutter, even probably more subtly. You think you're on it and then, boom, the thing just darts off to the left or to the right, and you're used to pitches either having a little bit more depth, or you're used to being able to at least see the break a little bit. But with a cutter, it's like you don't even see it, and then bang, the thing just moves over a little bit, and you swing and you say, how did I miss that ball? I thought I was on it. So it's a great pitch if we're able to learn how to throw it, to be able to get hitters out.
The Vulcan, I threw this pitch for a few years in pro ball as my changeup, because my circle changeup was garbage. So I threw the Vulcan, and the Vulcan is just like a split finger, except it's with it's more like a fork ball, actually, not a split finger, but it's with these fingers instead of these fingers. So basically you're gonna go on the outside of the horseshoe like this. The pointer and thumb is going to be in a comfortable position, as well as the pinky, and all we're trying to do is come straight through that at release point and kind of get a slipping action as we release it, okay? If you get inside of the ball a little bit, it can kind of have a wobble and a down and arm side movement. If you come straight through, sometimes it'll get like a knuckle movement and kind of just fade out and drop.
Now the Vulcan is a really interesting pitch. The changeup can be deadly if you're able to have a good changeup and throw with good arm speed. It's one of those pitches where you think you see fastball, all of a sudden you go to swing and you realize just a little too late that it's not a fastball, almost impossible to hit a good changeup. Now guys struggle with different pitch grips. If you're able to figure out this Vulcan, or if you can't figure out, a different changeup grip, this is something really interesting to try and see if you can get a really good feel for it. I've seen guys that are able to get it, and it can be a deadly pitch. So that's all we got today, guys. Again, go check John out over at yougoprobaseball.com. Subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up. I'd appreciate that. Share the video with all your friends. And that's all we have. Thanks so much, and we'll talk to you later.